A whale on a beach looks finished. It is not breathing. It is not blinking. It is doing an excellent impression of a gray hill. But inside that hill, trillions of tiny workers have just started the largest buffet of their lives. Hours pass. The belly rounds upward. The skin pulls tight. Then one weak place can unzip, and a wave of gas, oil, blood, and liquefied tissue leaves the whale at deeply unreasonable speed. So yes, a dead whale can burst. But the interesting question is not whether it is disgusting. That part has been peer-reviewed by every nose nearby. The question is how something dead can build pressure at all. First, remove the movie version from your head. A whale carcass is not packed with explosives. There is usually no spark, no burning fuse, and no fireball. What people call an explosion is normally a mechanical rupture. Pressure rises inside a weakening container. The container fails, and its contents rush toward the lower pressure outside. Think less grenade, more overfilled food pouch, except the pouch may weigh tens of tons. The food is the pouch, and nobody wants to taste test the filling. To understand the pressure, we have to ask what changes at the moment the whale dies. While the whale is alive, its body spends energy maintaining borders. Cell membranes control what moves in and out. Blood carries oxygen. The immune system restrains microbes. Muscles keep passages shaped and tissues organized. Death turns off that management. Without oxygen and circulation, cells lose control of their chemistry. Their own enzymes begin dismantling them from within. That self-digestion is called autolysis. At the same time, the whale's resident microbes lose their landlord. Bacteria that had been confined mainly to the gut can spread into rich, unguarded tissue. The whale has stopped eating. Its microbiome has not. Now add the most whale-specific part of the story: insulation. Blubber keeps a living whale warm in cold water. After death, that same thick layer can trap heat inside a gigantic body, with a relatively small surface area. One published review describes measurements in which a whale carcass rose from normal body temperature to about 41 degrees Celsius after a day, then reached roughly 48 degrees after 2 or 3 days. That is not a cold corpse. That is a biological slow cooker with fins. Warm conditions can accelerate microbial activity and tissue breakdown. As blubber cells rupture, oil leaks, proteins and fats collapse into softer material. The container is being heated, filled, and weakened at the same time. The popular answer is methane. It is memorable, flammable, and much too simple. Measurements from decomposing marine mammals have found mixtures that change with species, tissue, temperature, pressure, and stage of decay. Carbon dioxide and hydrogen can be prominent. Nitrogen may remain from earlier gas spaces. Methane appears in some animals and some locations, but not as a universal whale setting. There can also be sulfur compounds and many volatile chemicals contributing to the smell. Fortunately, the exact recipe is not what makes the carcass rupture. A balloon does not care whether it holds helium. Your uncle's deeply disappointing party breath would work just as well. It cares how much gas is inside, how fast more arrives, and whether any can escape. Picture two counters running at once. Counter 1 is gas production. Microbes digest available material and release gas into the gut, body cavities, blood vessels, and soft tissues. Counter 2 is gas escape. Gas can leak through the mouth, open wounds, or scavenger holes. Tissue damaged by surf can release gas too. If escape keeps pace with production, the carcass vents, collapses, or simply becomes a long, smelly lunch line. If production wins, gas collects faster than it can leave. The abdomen expands. Flexible tissues stretch. Internal pressure climbs. The whale is now losing the world's worst race. More gas, fewer working exits. Pressure alone is only half the mechanism. Imagine pumping air into a rubber ball while another person quietly dissolves the rubber. You do not need extraordinary pressure forever. You only need pressure to outlast strength. Self-digestion and putrefaction soften organs and connective tissue. Sunlight, waves, abrasion, scavengers, and old injuries can create weak regions. Oil and fluid change how tissues slide against one another. A body wall that resisted expansion yesterday may tear today. This creates a crossing point. The force pushing outward rises while the force holding everything together falls. When those lines meet, the next small disturbance may be enough. There is no universal whale countdown. A carcass may split without anyone touching it, or it may be helped by surf, a scavenger bite, a pre-existing wound, movement during transport, or a professional incision during examination. The opening does not need to begin large. Once a small tear forms, pressure can drive fluid and gas through it, enlarge the tear, and release the contents rapidly. That is why the event looks explosive even without combustion. Stored pressure performs the acceleration. Gravity and liquid mass handle the appalling choreography. The result can travel much farther than a polite person would estimate. If this mechanism is real, why is every dead whale not a beach volcano? Because the outcome depends on a contest, not a rule. A torn carcass may vent early. Scavengers may open escape routes. Cold conditions can slow microbial gas production. Warmth can speed it. Waves may rupture tissue before much pressure accumulates. A thick, intact body may trap gas longer. Species, size, fat, injuries, and time all change the balance. Some whales swell and split. Some deflate through ordinary leaks. Some are broken apart gradually. Some disappear into the sea before anyone sees the later stages. Nature does not schedule the gross part for the camera. The same gas that makes a whale swell can also change whether it floats. A carcass may sink, produce gas in shallow water, become buoyant, and rise again. In one reported group of 14 humpback whales, almost all of the animals that initially sank later refloated as decomposition gas accumulated. Deeper water adds pressure. Higher pressure compresses gas and helps more of it dissolve into tissue instead of forming large buoyant bubbles. Cold, deep water can also slow the microbial pathways that make gas, so a carcass near the surface may become a drifting inflatable problem. Far below, it is more likely to stay down and become something completely different. On the seafloor, the whale stops being a pressure vessel and becomes a neighborhood. Sharks and other scavengers remove soft tissue. Smaller animals work through what remains. Microbes transform fats and chemicals in the sediment. Bones can support specialized communities for years, or even decades. The energy that once powered one enormous animal is redistributed through an ecosystem. That is the second surprise. Decomposition is not just destruction, it is transfer. The whale's internal buffet eventually opens to the entire ocean. On a crowded beach, however, that transfer needs management. Large whale response teams establish safety zones for several reasons. A decaying carcass may carry harmful microbes, and heavy equipment, sharp tools, unstable footing, surf, sharks, and ropes under tension can all injure people. A swollen body adds one more unpredictable mechanical hazard. Responders choose among options such as leaving the carcass in place, moving it, burying it, towing it offshore, sinking it under authorization, or sending it for industrial disposal. The correct choice depends on the animal, the location, and the weather. Local law, available equipment, and the condition of the carcass matter too. For everyone else, the procedure is wonderfully short. Keep away, leash the dog, and report the animal to the local stranding network. And please do not poke the whale. It already has enough ongoing projects. Now return to the gray hill on the sand. The whale is motionless, but its chemistry has changed employers. Enzymes dismantle cells. Microbes convert tissue into gases and fluids. Blubber holds heat. Gas production competes with leakage. Pressure rises while structure decays. If a weak point opens at the wrong moment, the carcass releases that stored pressure in one fast, filthy rupture. No detonator is required. The whale is no longer functioning as one animal. It has become a warm ecosystem inside a failing bag. And the bag is enormous.